show the world what we all about.
Vision to pain. Take special first. Play this game. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
We play for the day.
We play for the day.
I will not be satisfied.
I will not be satisfied.
Any other way.
Greetings, Wildcat fans. I'm Marvin James, and this is the Fort Valley State University Coaches Show featuring head coach Don Pittman. We're here another week in the Valley. It's another winning weekend after a big win over Morehouse, and now we're going to talk about the SIAC stats, Coach, and talk about where we rank in that. How's everything going with you today?
Everything's going wonderful, especially when you win homecoming. I must have been asked 1,000 times, are we going to win homecoming? Well, we won, so I wonder what I get for that. I think I would have known what we would have lost, what I would have gotten, but
that's right.
I would never do anything when we win.
You didn't get one of them big turkey legs they had out there?
No.
Well, maybe we can work on that for next year. All right, let's talk about where we rank in the stats. Number one, there's a lot of number ones, and that's always good, right?
That's great.
Okay, let's talk about the pass efficiency, number one. The sacks against, number one. Fourth down conversions, number one. And the pass efficiency, obviously, by Malcolm Eady, the quarterback. That speaks very well of what the offense is doing right now and where they've come from week one to now.
Well, we had a very productive offense and getting better every week. Otis has been injured. Now he's back, so that's going to give the defense, our opponent, especially Albany State, they're going to have to prepare for two different styles of quarterbacks, and that's going to help us quite a bit. But the passing game has been our bread and butter. We have 4 good wide receivers, and we've been spreading the ball around and trying to get them the ball. Yeah.
Usually it is the running game for a typical team like you has been, run first and pass later. But when you have guys like Javon Bell and Draylen Freeman, it's kind of hard to keep them on the show.
Oh, yes, and they want the ball all the time, and we try to accommodate them. The most important thing, is protection. Our offensive line is a very good pass protection team. The run game, they're improving, but they can get better at the rush blocking.
Okay. Well, Javon Bell, the senior transfer from Texas Tech, he is leading with receptions, nearly 4 catches a game and nearly 70 yards per game, and the punt return. Draylen Freeman, sophomore, continues to impress. He has nearly 15 yards in punt returning, and that's always good in special teams.
Oh, it's great, to have a guy like Draylen returning punts and also Travis Richmond returning kickoffs. I think he's going to get his stats back up also. And Ron Sumner punting, he always get us good field position, and also he's a good field goal kicker also. But with Draylen and Javon, they always are competing, and they want to be the best on the field, and that's a good thing for us.
Averaging nearly 28 points a game, we're definitely going to need that on Saturday. On the defensive side of the ball, interceptions, number one, Tracy White has 7 picks on the year, and Stephon Harper, we talk about him week after week, 8 tackles a game. He's to continue to be the leader on that defense on the Dirty Blue. Talk about just how defenses continues to improve every week.
Yeah, Tracy White is back after being off a year, and he hadn't missed a step. He's playing better every week, and he's a ball hawk, and all our opponents are aware of him. And they try to not go to his side, but he seemed to always get his interception.
All right, Coach, before we take a break, usually in both games you always break it down between conference and non-conference. In the conference, we did exactly what we were supposed to do. We're undefeated. Non-conference, not so much, but some close losses in that. Talk about, I guess, just what we've learned so far from this year, both in conference play and in non-conference play.
Well, our goal from the very beginning is to win the SIAC championship, and we on point for that. But so far as playing all the non-conference games, they were some very good opponents, and they got us ready so far as championship speed for our conference. And we've been playing fast and physical because of that.
Okay. And lastly, you would agree that the playoffs start now?
Oh, no doubt. You know, if you lose, you go home, put your uniforms up, and we're not ready to put those in storage yet.
Absolutely not. Well, we'll take a break right now, but we'll be back talking more football with Coach Pittman and Javon Bell and a couple of other folks. Stay with us.
My name is Dr. Kimberly Duggar.
Hello, my name is Keith Williams.
Khadijah Baker.
My name is Aura James Williams.
Mildred Kitchen.
My name is Morteza Sadji.
Hi, my name is Betty Wright.
Hello, I'm Randy Duncan.
My name is Dr. Jaquez Sarnsey.
Hi, my name is Chef Allen.
I'm Mary Hartford Robert.
My name is Lena Rump.
Hello, my name is Francisco Paredes.
My name is Cynthia Porter.
Hello, my name is Dr. Teresa Shakespeare.
My name is Melissa Riley.
Hi, my name is Sapindra Mahan. I'm Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. And I like Fort Valley State University because it's a family business.
And I love Fort Valley State University because we are one big family.
And I'm a 2001 graduate of Fort Valley State University.
And I love Fort Valley State due to all the cultural diversity, and it's just like home for me.
Been in higher education for the last 10 years. My mission at Fort Valley State University is to increase diversity.
Neil Clark, graduate of Fort Valley State University.
And I love FVSU just because it's family. And we love each other, cooperate each other, and to serve the students and serve FVSU.
I love Fort Valley State University because of the opportunities that are afforded to our students every day and the lifelong friendships that I gain from here. Thank you.
Greetings, Wildcat fans. I'm Marvin James, and this is the Fort Valley State University Coaches Show featuring head coach Don Pittman. Welcome back. We took a week off, but now we're back, and we're going to talk a little bit about this week's next game, and that's a big one. The showdown before sundown in Columbus, actually. It's the Fountain City Classic between Albany State. I'm sitting here with Dr. Joshua Murphy. How you doing, sir?
Just fine, sir. Glad to be here today.
All right. Let's talk about that big contest this weekend. What can we know about it?
Well, it's the 26th annual Fountain City Classic. We've been doing it for 26 times. But this weekend, going to be a big weekend. We actually start tomorrow in terms of the media. We have some of the players from the area going over, having that conversation. The ADs, the other staff members, such as our sports information director, our associate athletic director. We get there and we have our little powwow about who's the greatest team. We already know that going in there, but we go through the process to make everybody know. To try to get people to come on out to this event. It's going to be a great event. We go into this game undefeated in division. Right. We're also undefeated in the conference. They go into the game undefeated also with the same record in the division, but they've lost one in the conference. So we're ready to roll. Great weekend for it.
Now, this is for all the marbles, as you just talked about, 3-0, both teams. Talk about, you've been on both sides, you know, of the blue and gold and the gold and blue, depends on how you want to look at it. Talk about just what this game means to both fan bases.
I mean, it's a great game. I call it a doubleheader kind of homecoming. You get a chance to see fans from Albany State and fans from Fort Valley get a chance to really shake hands and say what it's all about. They don't just talk sports, they talk the whole concept of friendship, they talk about this rivalry and how it all got started. But from that standpoint, I mean, man, it's heated when you go there, and being on both sides, you see the hype on both sides. The students already know it. The student athletes going into it, they know the beginning of the season. They talk about this game. And one thing about this game, I've been in a situation where we've had teams come in there 9-0. And the 9-0 team can lose because at that time you throw all the stats away, you throw all the records away, and that's the beauty of it.
And the one thing about this game, too, is at a neutral location. Talk about the Fountain City and what Columbus is able to provide for both fan bases, and just a wonderful atmosphere.
Well, being the type of metropolis that it is and where it's located, it's the type of place that people look forward to coming to. You know, people go on the tailgate and they want to be there. And I tell you, Calvin Smyer and his team for those years have been doing an excellent job. We get on the phone and we do an FCC walkthrough to talk about what's going to happen on the schedule and so forth and so on. And it's a whole weekend, it's a whole night, and it's a whole showdown before the sundown coming in, and people look forward to it. That's why they don't want our homecomings to be on the same date. They want to split them up so we get a chance to bring and stimulate the economy, if you will. And we certainly do that by bringing it to a city, because every hotel is filled. I remember going at one point in time, I had to move out 43 miles to find a room.
Oh, wow.
With so many people there.
Okay. Now, I don't want to go on to beyond this game, but just talk about, I guess, the atmosphere of the game once kickoff begins, and this the pageantry of the halftime shows, obviously, and then the bands in the stands. Just talk about a little bit of what people can expect from this game.
You can expect pretty much the same thing. We used to see the games between the Cowboys and the Pikers, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, and Auburn. That's where, when I talk about a comparison, that's where we are when we talk about this particular game. The people are there, the fans are there, and as a matter of fact, the Silver Wings will fly the football in.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, it is something great. And so when you look at that, people are there, the stands are filled, probably 15, 20,000 folks. And I always tell them it's 15 or 20,000 folks in the arena and another 100,000 outside tailgating. But that's all a part there. And the bands, I mean, they never stop playing. Right. They try not to break any NCAA rules and SIAC ruling, but it's there. And you have the commissioner there letting everybody know that this is the game of the season. And we try to bring that in when those Wildcats meet the Rams. Yes, sir.
And what time is kickoff?
Kickoff's at 2:00 p.m. Okay. Ready to roll.
All right, all right. Now, before we go to break, let's just wrap up a little bit about homecoming here, the festivities here at homecoming. How was homecoming here in the Valley?
Just wonderful. People were saying that this is probably one of the largest homecomings they've seen. We had to not stretch land, but we saw people actually tailgating out as far as the lake this time. We saw a bigger crowd in terms of being in the stadium, but we kicked it off with a car show the following Saturday with a gospel concert right on off in the actual kickoff in HB Gymnasium, right on up through the week with everything going on. And I saw students Friday night at a fair-like situation. So, and then we ended with the alumni dance, but prior to that, of course, the game where the team did what they needed to do, 35-3. I'm quite sure they could have run the score up higher than that, but they took time. With a player you're going to get a chance to talk about, Javon Bell, and talk with. It was something great to see here at Fort Valley State University, and we talked about it. We brag about, we've been here for 120 years, and we're still standing, and people really showed it this past weekend.
Great, great winning weekend here in the Valley. We'll be back with more, talking with Javon Bell and Coach Pittman. Stay with us.
Fort Valley State University is a designated military-friendly school providing specialized services for soldier scholars. Apply to Fort Valley State University today. Learn more at fvsu.edu.
Fort Valley State U.
Welcome back, Wildcat fans. We are talking with Coach Donald Pittman on the Fort Valley State Coaches Show featuring Coach Donald Pittman. I am Marvin James. Coach, big winning weekend in the Valley. Homecoming is always great. Lots of folks here. A lot of people patting you on the back. Means that a win was had at the stadium, right?
Yeah, and the bad thing about that is you're only as good as your last victory.
That's right.
And we have a big game coming up against Albany State. So we had 24 hours to have a good time and enjoy the victory, but now we back on point and ready to go to work.
That's right. A big victory it was, 35-3 over Morehouse. Always a tough matchup between them, and a little payback from the 2014 season.
Yeah, Morehouse, we was in the same situation last year, and they knocked us off. They upset us, and we weren't able to compete for first place. And we went into the game against Albany flat, and we lost the game. But we've been looking forward to playing Morehouse for a whole year, and we finally got the opportunity last Saturday, and I'm quite sure they're waiting for a year to get back at us. So, but they'll have to wait a whole year to do that.
Right. That's right. Well, we out-muscled the Bulldogs, 341 yards to 135. yards, and that's total offense with rushing 100 yards on the ground and 241 in the air. Just talk about how we continue to have a balanced attack, but looks like we're going to the friendly skies a little bit more.
Well, we knew from last year and this year that Morehouse, they have pressure defense. They like to bring pressure in. You have to go to the three-step games. There will be. We went to the three-step game, and our plan was to catch the ball short. The quarterback get rid of the ball quick, catch it short, and run long. And that's what happened. We got hit them with a couple big plays and kept them off balance, and had a good, scored 14 points in the first quarter. So that was a great thing. And that way they had to pass the ball, and that was their weakness. And we knew from the very beginning their offense was a weak spot, and especially when you blitzed, they could not pick it up effectively. And the quarterback, we knew once you hit him once or twice, he was going to get rid of the ball and probably throw an interception.
Okay. And big time play from Ryan Bowman, who had a big game with 6 tackles and a half tackle for loss, along with Stephon Harper, had 8 tackles, a half sack, 2 tackles for loss, and a pass breakup and a quarterback hurry. Talk about just the individual play of those two.
Ryan Bowman, we have to get on the field more often because he's playing well, and he's playing better every game. He's an aggressive player, and he does his job. Stephon, he's there, he's making plays also. And with those two, they're very good. We rotate 4 of those guys at linebacker, and we get them out and give them a breather, but those two are playing really well.
Okay. And we know what Javon Bell and we know what Draylon Freeman are going to do on the offensive side of the ball. Looks like we had a little more of an appearance from Travis Richmond and Alexander Morgan. He had a nice breakout game.
Yeah. Alexander made a couple catches, and there was very productive play this past week. Alexander's been a steady player for us, and now he's getting an opportunity to make some plays.
Talk about just the difference of this game that I noticed from in the games past. Usually we start off a little slow. This week we started off right on point, and we continue to keep our foot down on their neck and never give up. I mean, 14-3 at the half. We weren't down, and we continue to build on that. You have to be happy with the second half effort from your team.
Oh, yes, especially when we started off the game. They was in the type of defense we knew they would be in, and they reacted the way we thought they would. We got in a 3-by-1, and we had play action away from Bell, and he ran a slant pass, and he was open, and Edie hit him right on stride, so that was a great play. And we went back the second opportunity, and we went all 9. That's all 4 goals, and he hit Javon again on a go route and hit him right on stride. So everything was going just fine, and we stalled a little bit before the second quarter was over with, and Edie banged his knee up a little bit, and Otis came off the bench with the attitude that I'm going to show you who's the best, and he played great and got us back, got the momentum back, and they started to move down the field and was scoring like it was meant for us to score repeatedly.
Otis always plays with a chip on his shoulder coming off that bench.
Oh, yes. He's the type of guy that can come off the bench and seem like he's been playing the whole game.
Okay. And the special teams, we talk about Juan Cerna. I want to give him his props. He had 7 punts, averaging 41 yards a kick. And then he also had 2 punts inside the 20 and had a long of 54 yards. Anytime that he can switch and flip the field position, it's always going to bode well for the blue and gold.
Oh, of course. It give the opponents a long field to have to go down and score. But not only that, he's a good punter, but also he can take the pressure because they was coming at him to block the punt, but he would always get it off. And matter of fact, they had a roughing of the punter one time, but we had a penalty also. But Juan is a pressure guy, and he made good plays every time.
Okay. And let's talk about the crowd. It had to be great to have a nice festive crowd. You have folks here that don't necessarily get a chance to see the Wildcats every week and week out. They came back home and they were able to see such a great showing and get prepared for next week's big ball game in Columbus.
Oh yes, we had a very good weekend preparation all week. Matter of fact, we got a chance to take a movie in. We saw Woodland, which was very motivating for the guys on Friday night. And then we had one of the former players to come in and give a speech that they really liked.
Okay, who's that?
And well, he played, I can't think of his name right now, but he was All-American here, NFL guy.
Who's that?
And he played defensive linebacker.
Okay.
And he was back and he gave a very good speech. Also, Coach Porter, Doug Porter, a Hall of Fame coach, was here.
Right.
He got a chance to visit with the guys and to talk to them, and he gave them a slogan that we hadn't heard before. And he said that with his teams, he would always tell them to tear down the house. So we like that saying, so that's what we did. We tore down the house.
Okay, all right. And as we get prepared for next week's game, or this weekend's big game in Columbus with Albany State, and we'll talk about that a lot more after the break. What are some of the things that we're trying to shore up from this past weekend?
For sure, we want to improve on a run game, and we want to eliminate the penalties. Very happy that we didn't have any turnovers. That's always great. So, and defensively, once again, we don't want to give up the big plays. Morehouse had one big play, but we was fortunate that it was a penalty. So, I hope that carry over to next week, where we don't give up any big plays.
Okay. The Wildcats remain undefeated in the SIAC East at 3-0. Looking for a big showdown next weekend in Columbus with Albany State. We'll talk more X's and O's on the Fort Valley State University Coaches Show featuring Don Pittman coming up next. Stay with us.
A dream never dies. It lives within you, waiting to be realized. If you've postponed your dream of a college education or want to learn new career skills, Fort Valley State University offers affordable education programs designed for busy adults. Take courses on campus or online with flexible schedules to accommodate your lifestyle. Turn dreaming into doing at Fort Valley State University. Learn more at fvsu.edu.
Fort Valley State U.
Welcome back, Wildcat fans. I'm Marvin James, and this is the Fort Valley State University Coaches Show featuring head coach Don Pittman. I'm sitting here with senior transfer Javon Bell, a wide receiver from Duval County, Florida. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here.
Good. I know everybody knows this young man. He's number 7. You might not recognize his face because you usually see it behind a face mask, but he has definitely been doing work here in the Valley in the short time that he's been here. This past game with Morehouse, he had 3 catches for 105 yards and a touchdown, the long of 60 yards. Talk about what has attributed to your success here this season.
Well, it's been a great transition from being as a D1 athlete and with the D2 level, and kind of knowing like both sides and stuff like that. It's kind of been really a great experience for me and stuff like that. And I got to know the players and build a great chemistry with the coaches and the quarterbacks and stuff like that, and also the Southern Georgia. So it's been good, and I'm very excited.
That's right. You were coming here from Texas Tech, correct?
Yes, sir.
They got beat up. I know they put a lot of points on the board the other day, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what they're known for.
Okay.
A lot of points.
Okay. So football is football basically, and you coming back towards the south a little bit. Did that help improve your game, you think?
Yeah, I think it really did though, because both of us though, Florida, Georgia, we're known for having speed guys and big guys. So kind of boost up my competition and show what I really could do.
Okay. Not only are you, doing well on the team as far as leading the team, you're also leading the SIAC stats with receptions per game with 4 and receiving yards at nearly 70 yards a game. I know you as being a receiver, you can always get more, right? The load can always be bigger, right?
It always can.
Okay. Talk about this game that's coming up, the Classic. This is your first game. I know you've heard a lot about it. It's a big stage. Big players perform on big stages. I know you're looking forward to this.
Oh, yeah, I'm very excited about that, too, because, that's what I'm used to. I'm used to the big stage and stuff like that, so I'm ready to see what they have in store for it, and just ready for the win, basically.
Right. I know the plan overall when you came in here, you guys want to definitely run through the conference. Y'all been doing so successful that playing against some playoff competition, so you guys can really show the country just how well y'all playing ball.
Yeah, because we get underestimated this whole season. A lot of people been doubting us, saying Fort Valley not good in this, and this is my first season, and I don't really know nothing about the rivalry situation, but I'm ready to show people what we really got. We can do this.
Okay. And lastly, before we go to break, I guess, is there anything that you're trying to tell some of these younger guys as the guys get ready for this game? This game, you hate to put all the cliches and all that, but it's a do or die situation. I mean, the playoff starts right this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything you're telling the younger guys as they get prepared?
Nothing, just stay healthy and just stay focused, man, and just be ready to win.
Okay. Yeah, he's a cool guy. Every time on the sideline, he doesn't get rattled by anything. All right, we're going to break. We'll be back with Coach Don Pittman. We appreciate it, Javon. Good luck this Saturday.
All right, thank you.
Take care. We'll be right back.
Fort Valley State University is a designated military-friendly school providing specialized services for soldier scholars. Apply to Fort Valley State University today. Learn more at fvsu.edu.
Fort Valley State U.
Welcome back, Wildcat fans. I'm Marvin James. This is the Fort Valley State University Coaches Show featuring head coach Don Pittman. Coach, we could have fast forwarded to this game. This is what we've been waiting for all year long. It's the big matchup, the Fountain City Classic in Columbus with Albany State. Both teams undefeated in the conference. The winner takes all. Winner goes on to the SIAC championship. This is what you play for, right?
Yes, all the marbles are in the circle, and this is what it's all about. This big game, this is what we look for all year long. Is the matchup with Albany State, and usually that's a deciding factor whether or not you get a chance to represent the Eastern Conference for the championship game against the Western Conference.
No, we hope that Albany State probably, got excited and got too excited last week playing Benedict. They played their old coach, so hopefully they may have used all their energy up. But this is such a big game in Columbus. I'm pretty sure they're going to be ready regardless.
Oh, there's no doubt they'll be ready because they was calling me 7 a.m. on Sunday morning for the tapes, so exchange tapes. So they're ready to go. They are getting prepared, and they will be prepared for the game.
Well, let's go with the battle of the tape right here, the tail of the tape right here with Fort Valley State averaging nearly 28 points and Albany State averaging about 22 points. On the rushing game, the Rams out-edge Fort Valley by about 30 yards or so. Passing, Fort Valley has the edge by about 40 yards. Total offense, it's about even. About maybe the Albany State averages about 325 yards to Fort Valley's 313 yards. Penalties, they beat us in penalties. That's one thing that we know we're going to have to shore up with in order to have a successful game on Saturday. And the time management is about the same. But like we were talking a little earlier with Dr. Murphy and you as well, you've been on both sides of the coin, both sidelines, and both blue and gold. You throw these records out, you throw the records out, you throw all the stats out. This is a game that, is going to come down to who wants it more.
There's no doubt. And one of the stats that's not on there is turnovers. In this game, 1 or 2 turnovers would definitely decide who would be the winner of this game. So that's what we want to do. We want to win the turnover giveaway factor of this game.
Okay. Now, the one thing about this game, entering this game, it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of emotion. These are young men that you're coaching, so that's one thing, a difference. You're coming off a homecoming week and going right back into another kind of a homecoming week. How do you prepare them and tell them to keep focused and not get distracted by a lot of the crowds and the pageantry from all the fans?
Well, the thing about it, they are more focused because of the game. This is a big game for them, and so they're excited about it, and they know how important it is. So they definitely like this situation instead of not playing for conference championship. And this is what this is all about. It's an opportunity, and we are glad to have this opportunity to play. And last week it was easy to keep them focused. I think it'll be even more so now because they know the task at hand.
And I've been saying, earlier in the show that the playoffs start now. The playoffs have really been, for the last couple of weeks actually, because you have to keep winning every week, especially in the conference play, to get in a position to be right here.
Exactly, especially it started with Morehouse. We could not afford to lose a game against Morehouse, and it's going to even be more important that we win this game this week, because it will decide who's move on to the next game or not.
And this kickoff is at 2 o'clock?
At 2 o'clock.
Okay. A lot of things going on back and forth. Are you traveling back and forth this week?
Well, we're going to make a trip up tomorrow before practice, and we'll take 3 or 4 student athletes with us.
Okay.
But other than that, we'll be getting prepared here at home. And Saturday morning, we're going to rise early. We're going to stay here in Fort Valley, and we're just going to drive to the game, have a pregame meal, and go and hit the field, get ready to play.
All right, game time is coming up. And before we close the show, we want to send out a special prayer to former Fort Valley State Wildcat Ricardo Lockett up in Seattle, Washington. He had an injury in the game against Dallas on Sunday. Our prayers are with you right now. We're not sure of all the injuries, the extent of the injuries, but we definitely want to send out our well wishes to him, Coach. He was a great player for you.
Oh, yes. Ricardo played 1 year for me. He was a great guy to coach, very great athlete, and I'm very proud of all the things he's done in the last 4 or 5 years. He's a very deserving man for all the things he accomplished. And I hope he have a speedy recovery and continue his career.
Couple Super Bowl rings, and a great ambassador for Fort Valley State. Now that's it for the show. We hope to see you on the bus getting there in Columbus. It's going to be a great contest. The showdown before sundown. Fort Valley State looking for a big win. We'll see you.
Hey.